Hey guys, Erica with the K here. Today's video is all about individual eyelashes, which is what I have on today, if you guys haven't noticed. So I recently did a video on my channel talking all about strip lashes, and a few of you guys wanted to see a video on individual lashes. Now I do have an entire video talking about a comparison between a drugstore version individual lash and a drugstore version strip lash. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time saying this, but I am. And this video just kind of gives you more of an inner look on how I, a makeup artist, applies this to somebody else, the reasons why I would apply it, the benefits of it, everything like that. And then if you guys feel like that's what you guys want in your life, then I hope this video helps. These are individual lashes. They're from ROXDOLL. This is my favorite eyelash brand. I know that a lot of YouTubers talk about other brands that are super overpriced. Just not for me. Just not for me. ROXDOLL I think is great. So these are their knotted flares. So instead of having like one individual lash, they're like little bundles of like a few lashes. I've seen a few brands that have them like this, but these happen to be my favorite. So you can get it in short, you can get it in medium, or you can get it in long. Obviously, whichever one you get it in is going to determine how much oomph it gives you. So the short would be the most casual, the most day-to-day, stuff like that. I would like to use the short ones for like a grandma if I was doing a wedding and it's like the grandma and she doesn't really wear a lot of makeup, or the great grandma, but she wants a little bit of pizzazz. I would go for the short. Every day I go for short. A medium I'd probably go for mother of the bride if she doesn't really want too much, and then the long I'd go for probably the bride, maybe mix them with a little medium. Sometimes what I like to do is start from the inner corner and go short to longer, you know what I mean, like kind of just gradually get that so you can get the same effect of a strip lash that goes, you know, longer on the outside and then shorter on the inside. So sometimes I try to mimic that with the individual lashes. So the pros of the individual lashes are they give a little bit more of a subtle look, and by a little bit I mean a lot more of a subtle look. It's just a little bit softer than a hard strip. It's a little bit easier to apply if you're a beginner and you have a steady hand. The strip still might be a little difficult for you to fully manipulate the band all the way around the eye, but the individual lashes are just a little bit easier because you're just kind of placing them in. And then another reason for the individual lashes is if people are very sensitive to things, it won't feel as heavy on their lashes. They won't be able to see it as much. Some people just can't get used to it or don't give themselves the chance to get used to it, and they're like, I can't, it's just in my way. I don't want to feel this heavy lash on my eyes. So for them, I would opt for the individual lashes. Individual lashes are also great to have on hand if you're a makeup artist and somebody in the wedding party, whether it be the bride, the mother of the bride, or a bridesmaid, or just a guest who happens to have lash extensions and one or two fell out. Individual lashes are great to just kind of put in and just, you know, make a few extra bucks that day just filling in the gaps for what they had done, because truly nothing looks worse than eyelash extensions missing. It just looks like you had the chicken pox there and your eyelash never grew. It just doesn't look good, which actually happened to my cousin, and that's why I use that analogy. So hi Brianna, if you're watching, you got chicken pox on your eyelash and now it doesn't grow in. She's gonna love that shout out if she sees this. But anyway, so those would be the reasons why I would use individual lashes on somebody versus a strip lash. And I think I already said some people are very modest and they just don't want to be very flashy. They don't want to have a lot going on. But you don't, in my opinion, in the 13 years that I've been doing makeup, you never want to be the person who doesn't have anything on their lashes. It just doesn't photograph as well. You're not going to be as, your eyes aren't going to be the focal point as they should. And you just don't want your eyes to kind of be washed out. And, no matter how much mascara you put on somebody, when there's professional pictures being taken, you just kind of want that look. You want that little extra pow, especially if you're a bride. Bride, please do not get lashes on. Just get the lashes. And you know what I always say to everybody? I'm always like, hey, we can take them off if you don't like them. It's not permanent. These aren't eyelash extensions. So one more thing that I want to say is sometimes you go to a wedding and there are people there who got eyelash extensions and they're like, oh, I have the best lashes here. Everybody knows that. Because on the day to day, they do have the best lashes. But when you're putting on a strip lash and somebody has eyelash extensions, so person A has eyelash extensions and person B has a strip lash, person A with the eyelash extensions is always going to say, hey, can you put that strip lash on me? Because mine are not as prominent as the person with the strip lash are. So this is a similar kind of feel to that as, you know, you'll have it on, but it won't be as prominent. It's more for like a softer, subtle look. So I think I made that point clear. Let's actually get into this. So again, I'm going to be using the Duo Lash Glue. They do have the kind that dries black. They have the kind that dries clear, which is the blue and the white, and they also have the latex free, which is what I should be using because I do have a latex allergy, but mine is very slight. So yeah, this is up to you. For individual lashes, I 100% would say get the clear one, because the last thing you're going to want is to have a one lash that's like a little bit higher than maybe it should have, or maybe it hit a little bit higher and then you got it into place and now that glue is going to dry dark. It's just going to throw off everything. You just don't want that. Similar to the strip lash, this should be the very last thing that you do. I like to put mascara on first, get a little tacky, and give it something to stick to. I like to say that that is optional, and it totally is for the strip lash. But for individual lashes, since the actual part that gets glued on is so tiny, I like to make sure I have the mascara on first. Like, look how tiny that is. Like that little bead right there. So I like to make sure that I have the mascara on first so that it has a little extra something to just kind of adhere to. So I'm going to start with curling my lashes. This is completely optional. You don't have to curl somebody's lashes if you're in a wedding party. If you do, I don't ever use this kind. I use the little kind that just goes right into the lash like that. And then I like to use it at the end as well. So let's just get into this, shall we? I don't have any mascara on. Everything else is done. My entire face is done. I just don't have any mascara on. I don't have my lashes on. So I'm going to curl my lashes. I'm going to make sure that the case is opened. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the outside of the packaging. Guys, don't worry, it dries. So even if you're not using all those lashes, it's totally fine. Just a little tiny bit of glue. You don't need a lot. We're going to let that sit and set up a little bit while we put on mascara. It really doesn't matter what mascara you use because the lashes are going to be there, but just put it on. Okay, so now wow, look at the difference between mascara and not mascara. Hello. You don't want to put any mascara on the bottom lash line yet because you don't want it to stick. That is the same as a strip lash. So now how do we pull these out, Erica? These look crazy. So I like to pull out at least 2 at a time. So I like to pull 2 in my hands. They're evenly distributed between my fingers. Then I like to dip just the head of them, just that little nub. Can you guys see that? So you guys can see it. Just a little nub right into the glue like that. Now you can see it's just on that little nubby nub, the glue. Give it a second to kind of set up a little bit. And then you literally just place it right over the existing lashes. You probably won't even feel it touch you. So since my lashes are actually naturally pretty long, these aren't going to add any length, but they are going to add some fullness, which will be nice. And then you just continue to go. So what I like to do is I like to kind of weave them in between each other. So the first 2 I do, then the second 2 I do, right, I'll give you, hold on, let me get this on first. Okay, so how I like to do it is the first 2 I like to put on, and then the second 2 I like to do like this in between. Then the next 2 go like this, then the next 2 go like this. So it's like I'm weaving them in so that there's no gaps in between them. They're like kind of just going, you know? I would say probably a whole strip, like one whole line is probably, like one whole row is probably good for 2 lashes. Consider 2, you know, one person's eyes. And I say that because normally people who want these done don't want too much going on. They're just so easy to put on. Like, So easy. And it's okay. It's nothing's permanent. So if you feel like, oh, I kind of messed that one up, just take it out. If they feel like, oh, it's kind of annoying me, okay, which one's annoying you? Let me take it out. Like it's nothing is permanent. It's literally just. Oh, hi. Hey, girl. I'm actually using the whole strip just on myself because I like some pizzazz. But like I said, if you're doing a wedding, most times you can get away with, you know, one strip for 2 eyes. 1 row, I should say. I'm gonna go over to that, but that's okay. And you just want to kind of like push them in a little bit just so that you know that they're getting, the glue is setting up where it's supposed to be setting. I do have a few more tips to give you guys that we'll get to. Okay, so here's a prime example. Do you see how I hit that glue up a little bit higher than it should have been? If that was the glue that dries black, my whole line would be messed up. But it's not going to be messed up because it dries clear. So as we're gonna let this side kind of like sit and do its thing, I'm gonna go on to the other eye. So again, we're gonna curl it. We're gonna mascara it. Make sure you get your lashes as like mascaraed as possible before you even go in with the lashes, because you're not going to want to put mascara on again at the end, because then you're going to run the risk of yanking out what you just did. Like, it's so easy just to yank these out, and you don't want to do that. So as you guys can see, I used the whole first row for this one eye. So another thing that I always tell my clients is just look down so that the glue can dry. This is what the glue looks like when it's not dry. It looks frightening. This is what it looks like when it is dry, and it's just great. So just make sure that you're in control of when you're doing this on somebody. If you're just doing it for yourself, then just don't look up at this point. Just continue to look down so that the glue can dry. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to go back in with the eyelash curler once it's dry. I think it's pretty dry. I'm pretty sure it is. And you don't want to go all the way in on this because you don't want to run the risk of hitting that glue and yanking them out. So you're going to kind of pull it away a little bit, and you're just going to slightly kind of just put them together so that it's one, it looks like one strip of lashes and not 2 strips of lashes. Because nobody wants to like look like they have 2 strips of lashes on. You know, you want to like have like one thing of lashes on. Okay, at this point what you can do is go over this eye with mascara. I'm sorry, not mascara. What you can do is go over this eye with eyeliner, but I don't need to do that right now because my eyeliner was thick enough and I feel like it's covering the band very well. Like you don't see where that was. So what I'm going to do is just go in with this mascara and just kind of put it on the bottom. Make sure you don't reapply on the top. If you don't want to go in with the lash curler, you can literally just take them and squeeze them together like this. And just make sure it's one row of lashes. That's it. And then once this side is dry, I have that big glob of glue right there. So once that is dry, then I'm going to go back in with the eyelash curler and I'm going to curl it and then put some bottom mascara on. Again, you can also just squeeze it together if that's what you prefer. To take these out, it's super simple. You just find them and you just pluck them out. If it's not coming out, that means it's probably your eyelash, so stop pulling on it. You don't want it to come out. But if you know, you can kind of tell the difference between your lashes and the ones that aren't your lashes when you're super up close. So just make sure that you yank on the ones that are, you know, don't act like Miracle on 34th Street and start yanking it like it's Santa's beard trying to get it off. You know, like if it's not coming off, it's your lash. So just leave it alone. But you literally just pull them out individually, same way you put them on, the same way you take them off. Thank you guys so much for your love and support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Until next time, work hard, dream big, eat cake. Bye, guys.